This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2025 excuse me, Flagstaff 171 OTG as an off the ground. This is a new line of tent campers, kind of a minimalist approach. So when it comes to setting it up, I'll direct you to their website, and they'll have a really good setup video for that. I'm just going to go into a little different detail with this video, but make sure you refer to the manufacturer's video. Plus, when you pick up, we'll walk and talk you through it also. So let me just start over here. The door is already down in the down position, but it stows up here just like all of their pop-ups do. Their travel door, the little half door that goes on the side when it's in the down position, that stores underneath here. You can see there's a handle there, and there's a storage compartment underneath here. Now these here are typical of all of their pop-ups. There are two of these. They go kitty corner from each other. And people will give you all kinds of opinions of what they're for, but actually what they're for is to give the roof strength, because you are out in the woods, and it's a really strong cable system, but you have trees and trees fall and that sort of thing. So this is just something, I can do this here with one hand. This is just something to give you more strength. They go kitty corner from each other. Doesn't matter which way, but they do go kitty corner, and it just gives your roof more support. These cables here are the tension cables. They should be taut about like that when you crank it up, and what they do is they put the roof at the correct height so the screen door fits properly. So make sure that you don't overcrank them. If you do, they'll come loose up here, and if that ever happens, that's just a board up there. So if it ever happens, you just take a screwdriver and go a 1/4 inch to either side of the hole up there and just screw it back in. Okay? You wouldn't be the first one to pull it out of there. So keep that in mind. So they go kitty corner from each other. You're going to have an awning on yours, a 9-foot awning. That's on its way. Of course, your spare tire is right here. You have a crank, and there's one battery in here, but it can hold 2 batteries, which gives you more storage. It's everything in here runs on 12-volt DC, except for the receptacle. If there is a receptacle in here. Yes, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is. Let me look here. Yeah, right over by the power converter. We'll look at that in a second. So your 30 amp, 30-foot power cord, and we give you a reducer to reduce it down to a regular 20 amp in case you need to plug it in at home and pack up or something like that. Okay. If we go inside, first thing you see is your fire extinguisher, of course. Your keys are right here. I got a little tight. I'll clip them off for you, but they're right there. Your light switch for your LEDs, plus there are buttons on those so you can operate those independently of each other. You also have a fan in your ceiling vent also. Make sure you close the vent before you crank the camper down, or else you have to put it back up or else crawl in there so you can close it. So make sure you always crank that down before you start to crank the top down. In here, let me get my flashlight here. In here you're going to have this, your booklet, which is all of the information for your camper. Then this pouch here is just it's for your power cord, or that's what the power cord was shipped in anyway. These two poles here are for your table. Of course, there's the tabletop there. Right now it's turned into a bed, but because it's still stowed, but when you get to your campsite and you set it up, you'll turn it into a table by using these poles here. And then you have your crank here for your stabilizers, right? And of course, your other crank for the winch is stuck in the receiver for it up front. So, okay, you get a porta potty, which is good for little kids and that sort of thing in the middle of the night. Here we have the GFCI plug. Right, that's 110. You could plug a little space heater in there if you wanted to, or a lamp, or whatever you choose. This is your power converter right here. So what this does is it converts AC to DC power. So you can see you have a regular, your one and only 120 AC circuit breaker for it. That's your main breaker. So that's 120 AC, and then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. So you've got 4 12 volt fuses, and they're labeled right there, so you know what they're for. Labeled right there, actually. And so that's where your 12 volt comes from. Your battery on the front is also 12 volt, and this is a battery tender. So it'll as long as you're plugged into shore power, it'll sense how much energy your battery. First of all, it senses what type of battery is. In this case, it's a wet, deep cycle marine battery, and then it'll sense how much energy you need to charge it up completely, and it'll act accordingly. It'll send you as many amps as it takes to charge it. If it's real low, it'll just send 10 amps to it, for example. But if it's almost topped off, it'll just trickle a couple up there to keep it charged. So when you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle's alternator will charge the battery, and when you're plugged into shore power, your power converter here will charge the battery. So this converts AC to DC power, and it charges your battery. Okay. This is your temporary door, your small door, your travel door, whichever you want to call it, and that stores under here. You can unzip your windows. There's screens all the way around. You can unzip them. Okay. You have storage under here. You can also access the storage from the top. Keep that in mind about the storage. If I just pull this up, you can see you've got all kinds of storage here. Your door, your screen door, stores up here. We'll show you that when you pick up. Plus, if you look at the manufacturer's setup video, it'll show you that also. Okay, let me see what else we have here. Okay, so you have all kinds of charge ports, of course, for your. This one has a USB and a USB-C charge port. This device here is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector. You can see it's glowing green right here. If it's not glowing green, get it serviced, because it's obviously very important. You can also set it for a test. I'm not going to set it off, it's too loud, but you push the button right there and it'll go off. So this tells you if you've got a carbon monoxide or LP gas buildup. And also, if it beeps very slowly, it's telling you your battery's low. It's a low battery alarm. So it does all three actually. But never ignore it. If it's not working, if it's not lit up, you push the button to test it. If it doesn't go off, then you get it serviced immediately because it's too important to ignore. Okay. You can see the cleats here that the tabletop sits on. This is actually up here backwards. When they stowed it, you can see how this is, well, let me not say that. I better not say that. That's not correct. Yeah, forget I said that. I was about to tell you something I don't think is accurate, so don't worry about that. Let's see what else we have. I think that pretty much covers it. Yes. Okay, so you have your smoke detector up here. And like I said, your lights work independently of each other or with the master switch. You have a powered fan. Always make sure you close the lid before you crank the top of the camper down. This will store underneath in that compartment below. Okay? Alrighty. So, like I said, your awning will be installed. And they're really nice awnings too. They all the poles are stored right in the awning rafter. The awning rafter would be the piece on the outside here that runs the length of the trailer, and which is 9 feet, so it runs out 8 feet wide and 9 feet across, and it will stow all the poles and everything all in the packet, all in the bag, I should say. So it's a really good awning. So okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Always remember to inspect the seals on your trailer. I've inspected them already. Where you're going to look, basically, these corner caps here, there's 4 of them. So you're going to make sure there's no cracking or separation anywhere. I checked them out, they're perfect. If that was to crack, let's say if it was to pull away, then water could potentially get in, but it will never get in as long as you inspect it, a few times a summer. Just if you happen to see any suspicious looking areas, just don't get caulk from the hardware store. Go to an RV place and get something called Clear ProFlex. Always use the right stuff. And you're also going to check the vent from when the roof is down and you can see it. You'll check the vent to make sure the sealant around there is good and tight also. So that's the only real maintenance you have to do, is check any caulk you see from the factory and make sure it's good, still good and tight, okay? When you put it away and it's wet from morning dew, or you had to put it away in the rain, make sure the first chance you get, you open it up and let the wind just blow through it. And when I say blow through it, I mean open up the windows so the wind can just whip right through the trailer. You want it to completely dry out. If you do that, you'll never have mold or mildew issues, anything like that. Just always dry it out really well. If there's some reason you're going to go a summer without using it, still set it up a couple times and let the wind whistle through it. It's good. It's a good thing to do. So that's kind of part of the maintenance too, is to always let it air out. Even if you're not going to be camping with it, give it some time to air out. Okay. Okay. So we'll see when you come to pick it up, and we'll go through any issues you have, and we'll talk you through it, and we'll make sure you're happy and you understand all about your camper. Okay. Thank you.